What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with the Tesla SPY in the overall markets. I'm going to break down why the market is trying to rally so far this morning. Some very, very key levels to watch for in the news involving Tesla and the markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total. Not to mention 8.1% APY on invested cash. The offer ends at the end of March. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening with these charts. So, one of the things I was talking about in my video from yesterday was that SPY, Tesla, they all have these like bullish wedges. Tesla is trying to break out of this, which is a very, very good sign. However, although we have this gap to fill around this like 262 area, I do want to let you guys know that I need to see if Tesla could hold above at least 255 to continue this push. If we lose that, we do have a gap to fill below back down to 250. So we'll see if this holds or not. But as of right now, we're still looking bullish. Whether we come down to fill the gap and bounce, or if we just push from here, we're looking bullish on Tesla. Also, the overall market is looking bullish. If you look at SPY, it's trying to break out right here. It's trying to hold above 568. If that holds, we will continue. So far in the markets, the bulls have the edge. Exactly what we were talking about yesterday. We did predict that there would be some upside, at least approaching President Trump's tariffs for April 2nd. Once again, Tesla's daily chart's bullish. We're approaching our daily 20 EMA at that 265 area. So overall, great job by Tesla as we look for bullish. So let's talk about some news. The news is very mixed for Tesla. The news is repeating the fact that we're seeing lots of vandalism happening in Tesla's showrooms. We're seeing a lot of them getting burnt with lots of protests that are going on. So that's going to continue. We've been hearing about this for many weeks, though. So I wouldn't necessarily say this is going to affect the share price as much nowadays. There was some news that came out that VW, BMW, and etc. They have outsold Tesla's European sales in the month of February. But like I said before, not really a big surprise because we knew about this, right? We've been hearing about this for many, many weeks. We've known about the February sales decline for a long time. So much of this news has been priced into a point where now Tesla's trying to rally a bit since it priced this in and we are due for that. So please keep that in mind. Now, there were some good pieces of news that came out for Tesla. Tesla's saying it's going to be releasing FSD in China after the software approval has come out. That is very, very good news that's coming out. I think this is part of why the share price is trying to run. By releasing the FSD features, this will help Tesla collect a lot more data. And then this could also help them in a lot of different ways when it comes to making things safer. And they could eventually attempt to launch it entirely in China to form autonomous driving. So that's very, very bullish news for Tesla, at least moving forward. And then last but not least, the old Tesla Model Y inventory has sold out after massive discounts. So that's a good piece of news in the US. Now, I just want to say that we don't have the exact numbers yet in the US. I don't want to like throw any numbers out there yet. And we'll have to just wait and see what the Model Y refresh numbers look like. We're almost at the end of Q1, so it's not that far away, and the numbers will eventually come out. But I just want to make it clear that the Model Y, the original one, is now sold out in almost 29 states. We have the list of them right over here. So keep that in mind. Pretty good news. It's good that Tesla's seeing more sales and they wanted to launch FSD in China. Bullish so far. Um, Also looking at the news, there's not really much coming out when it comes to earnings. We do have lots of retail like GameStop, Dollar Tree, and many others like that. For the economic calendar today is Monday, March 24th. Keep in mind that at 9:45 a.m. we have the S&P Global Composite Manufacturing and Services PMI reports. This may cause a lot more volatility, so get ready for all of this. Then the fear and greed index is currently at extreme fear. We'll have to see how this kind of continues as we hit fear and neutral. So be very, very mindful of that. But overall, that's what I'm seeing. And then last but not least, looking at some numbers, the market did dip a bit, only to try to bounce on Friday. The bounce is continuing today, so that's some good news. President Trump has already talked about how he wants to release more tariffs on April 2nd. He is continuing to hype up that date, so get ready for that date and mark your calendars. He did say on Friday there's going to be flexibility for his plan, and that's part of why the market's trying to push a bit. Besides that, Hyundai wants to announce a $20 billion investment into the U.S. manufacturing. That's good news for them, especially amongst the tariffs. And that's pretty much all I'm seeing, at least for now. I'm not seeing anything else that's too crazy on the news. So it's just a waiting game until we get President Trump's next round of tariffs. So, with that being said, what do I see for Tesla stock? Well, it depends. Can we hold above 255 ish, around the 255 area? If we don't hold 255, just hypothetically, if 255 fails us, we could be coming down to fill this gap, which is going to be down here around this like 249 area. Then we'd have to see if we bounce off the trend line, if that ends up being like the more bearish case, or if we don't come down, if we end up holding 255 in the morning, then we could be looking for an attempt to get back up to about 265 on Tesla. That's going to align with our daily 20 EMA. And if that breaks, we have an imbalance over here around this 272-ish area. That's going to be acting as a magnet, not to mention these higher levels up here. So we will be pushing towards like 265 to about 272 plus if we continue to make higher highs and higher lows. So as long as we don't lose 255, that's looking very, very probable. So just keep that in mind, everyone. That's what I think is going to be very, very likely. So there's a good chance that Tesla tries to continue to uptrend. We'll just have to see if we could hold 255. It looks bullish nonetheless, whether we get a dip first and then bounce, or if we just break out from here. So it's bullish. 262, then 265 are potential targets. Eventually 272 into the 270s. I think we will visit at least 265 soon, but we'll see if we get a dip first before it tries to bounce. Always want to be open minded for that just to be safe. As long as we're above 250, though, we're looking bullish. Okay, so pretty good. Whether we get a dip first and bounce, or if we just bounce from here, I'm still favoring the upside move. We're trying to get a breakout. This is what's known as a breakout attempt. We're not officially in the clear yet, so we have to see if we could hold this level. And then overall, it's doing a good job. So we'll see if it holds up. SPY is looking very bullish on the 4-hour time frame. It depends, though. Can we hold above 568? The reason that's such an important level is because that was previous resistance. And also on the daily chart, we've not been able to get a close above 568. We're trying to hold above it right now. We're looking at a daily PPO crossover, which tends to be bullish, and that tends to favor the upwards direction. And on the 4-hour time frame, we're seeing buyers defend. So I'm looking for 575 as our target on SPY. As long as 568 does not break, we're looking for 575 and then eventually 580. If we do end up losing 568, we could be dipping back down to 565 or below. But I think that overall it's looking bullish as we're attempting to make higher lows, and we could continue to uptrend from here. Let us see if we could hold above 568. We'll see if SPY does so. There were many times where it rejects in the 570s. So we'll see. We'll give it some time. But overall, this is looking bullish. We're trying to make higher lows. We're doing a good job so far. If we get some kind of pullback, if 568 does not hold us, we could return to that gap up for 565 and then try to bounce like that. That's very possible as well. If not, we'll see if we just continue to rally from here. If we could hold at 570, we could be looking for an attempt for 575 straight up from here. So whether we dip first depends on how well we hold 570. Do we dip and then bounce, or just bounce from here? Either way, it is looking bullish, and we're favoring 575 very soon. For the QQQ, similar setup. We're making higher highs and higher lows. We're trying to break the resistance at 485. The first time we actually got up to this level, so it's a new high it's making. The target from this like double bottom would take you up to about 492. As long as 485 does not break, we're looking for 492 as a target. If we lose 485, we could turn back down to that imbalance fill at 481. So we'll see how it does. For the IW and Russell 2000, we're looking bullish. If we could hold above 207, we're looking for an attempt for the 210s. If we lose 205, we could turn back down to fill the gap at 204, but we're still looking bullish. ES is looking bullish. Like I said, I had this channel marked out. We'll even see if the channel, like if it breaks through it or not, just to be safe, okay? If ES loses support around this like 5750 area, I do think we're going to fill the gap to the low 5700s. But as long as we're above 5750, we're favoring 5800s. I hope that's as clear as possible. As long as ES does not lose the support, we're bullish. Whether we dip like this and start pushing for 5800, if we do end up losing that support, we could fill the gap first and then bounce. But overall, it's looking more like it wants to go for 5800. Whether we see a small dip or not, it's favoring 5800 plus. For NQ, we're looking bullish. We have a nice bullish wedge here. If we hold above 20,000, we're looking for an attempt to get back up towards 20,400. If we end up losing support over here around this 20,000 area, we could be dipping to fill the gap towards 19,969. So overall, I think we're looking bullish, especially as we have that double bottom. And because we're trying to break out of this wedge, I think we could be looking for 20,400 as a potential target. For Bitcoin, Bitcoin's doing a good job so far. We're testing our 200 EMA. We have to hold above 87,000 to remain bullish. If it loses 84,000, it could turn back down. So far, it's looking pretty strong. I want to see 87,000 break for confirmation, though, but it looks a bit more bullish. Nvda, I said it might be breaking to the upside. We could be looking for a 120. As long as you hold this, I see this high being retested to 123 then 125. As long as you don't lose 117, 115, we're looking bullish, and 123 and 125 could be coming. Tesla looks more bullish, like I said before. As long as we don't lose like 250, we're going to be fine. If 255 fails this, we could be retesting 250 then bounce. But as long as we're above these supports, we're doing a good job. I also think we could continue to uptrend for like 262 and 265 or above. So I think we're still looking bullish. Apple's looking bullish. We're looking for 220 as our main support. As long as we're above that, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to 222, then 225. If we end up losing 218, we could turn back down to 216, which is not looking very likely. We have a bullish divergence. I think we're going for that 225 target on Aapl. For Coinbase, we're looking okay. I just want to say one thing. There's a giant gap below, so you want to be careful with that. If we end up losing 195, we will be dipping to 189. As long as we're above 195, though, if we could hold that, we're going to be favoring the 200s and attempt to get back up to 205. For Amazon, we're looking bullish. As long as we don't end up losing 198, we're favoring a pushback up for 202, then eventually 205. If we end up losing 198, we're going to be dipping back down to 196, but this is favoring upside. As long as we're above 200, we're looking pretty good. I want to see Amazon and also Meta. I want to see Meta hold above 608. If we lose that, we're looking for that gap fill to 596. As long as we're above 608, we are favoring the 620s and above for Meta. Microsoft, I need to see this break and hold above 397. As long as we're above that, we're looking for an attempt to get back up here towards 400. If we can't hold around this 393 area, we could dip back down towards 388. For Google, as long as we're above 168, we're favoring 172. If we lose 168, we could turn back down to like 166, but we're still looking more bullish. The VIX is looking bearish, which is a bullish sign for the markets. Good. So far, so good. When that being said, Tesla looks bullish, guys. We're trying to break out right now. This is like a breakout attempt. We need confirmation, of course, to see if Tesla will continue. But overall, it's doing a good job. We're going to be looking for a temporary rally here. We'll see how well this holds up, especially as we approach President Trump's tariffs. Have a good day, guys, and peace out.